Hi everyone, welcome on board to PERIDOT TV.
Well, as you all know, this lover has been on pastors and celebrities. This time around, he has decided to come for no other than Bola Ahmed Tinubu. To some people, this might be strange. To some, this might not be. Now, a lot of people have started attacking this lover, saying, it's like, this dude, you've been paid. So you have not seen any dearth or Atiku. You have not seen on Peter Obi. Someone paid you to attack Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But you know, in Nigeria, none of these things makes any difference. That is what you need to know. Our political education or lifestyle or background has nothing to do with someone now went with someone else's wife. This person did this person did that. All of those things mean nothing. It is not going to stop anybody from achieving what they want to achieve, particularly political position. So if it were in the Western world where they have certain lifestyle and culture, maybe it could affect the person's political career. Now, I'm going to go through it. Once upon a time, a baby was born on March 29th, 1935 in a small town called Iragbiji, Osun State, to the family of Ogunlere, ambitious, bright, but the parents were so poor, they had no money to take care of this young boy. After giving birth to him, they left Iragbiji to Ibadan, where they gave him primary school education. While growing, he was smart and a brilliant boy in class, but stubborn. On different occasions, his parents were summoned because it's either he's gang fighting his classmate or he's missing school. Long story short, bright boy finished his primary school, was to be enrolled to the junior secondary school. That was the last the parent heard of him. He made up his mind to go fend for himself in Lagos. Those days, Lagos Island women are the real deal. So when he left Ibadan, he headed straight to Lagos Island, where he met a woman who was then the woman leader of the Awolowo Action Group, a very rich and connected woman. Her name is Abibatu Mogaji. The woman interviewed him, interrogated him, picked interest in him. The woman took him in and he was working as a woman's house help. He cleans the house and do little things in the house. Although the women have house helps in the house, but he chose to put her mother through some tests. The test began. She gave the boy series of loyalty tests and he passed all without flinching. You know what it is? Put money here, go and give this person money over there, go and do this, go and do that. Come, let me show you something that is secret, private. And her mother kept his mouth shut. He moved with what they call integrity, or rather, let us use a proper word for it, loyalty. You know, criminals can be loyal too, and wicked people can be loyal too. Integrity is on a different level. That's to do with high moral standard. Anyway, successful businesswoman. Apart from that, Abibatu Mogaji was also one top drug dealer back in those days. If you were born those days, you will know that drug barons were everywhere on the island. They still exist till now, but because of the media, a lot of things are now coded. So seeing that her mother is a smart boy, it was a plus for him. Senior brother to Abibatu Mogaji then just lost his daughter. The name of the daughter is Bola Tinubu. The girl was just healed for a little period of time, then she passed away. Now, before the girl's death, the little girl's death, the father of the girl, who is the famous Kafaru Tinubu, and the brother to the famous Iyaloja, adopted mother of Tinubu. The father planned on her schooling in the US. The whole process was done and inter before the girl died. As at that time, Abibatu Mogaji needed to test the capability of his newly recruited boy. Now, before the demise of this young girl, the father, who is the famous Kafaru Tinubu, and brother to Iyaloja, the woman who adopted her mother. The father planned on her schooling in the US before her demise. The whole process was done and intact before the girl died. As at that time, Abibatu Mogaji needed to test the capability of his newly recruited boy. So she talked to his brother, who was a top police officer then. Her mother, Ogunlere, can use the deceased daughter traveling documents to the US. The only change they had to do is gender. The late Bola Tinubu is a girl. The new person who wants to take over a visa is a boy. It was not easy to achieve, but with Abibatu Mogaji's connection, and somehow they were able to kind of use some, technology, not like what we have today. They just did what we know that people do. This, according to Gistlover, was how a proper hardened drug baron was born. The Iragbiji boy first operation went smoothly as he was super smart and daring those days. Now so Iragbiji boy transition enter USA those days. Traveling was not hard as it is now. No stress at all. So he was shuffling Lagos and US and was working hand in hand with Abibat and some famous drug lords for Eko back then. Long story short, he met his first baby mama during those days, the one that gave birth to his first son, Jide Tinubu, late. There were issues then, as Abibatu Mogaji told her mother point blank, that having a family or a child is not safe for their kind of business. That was how her mother couldn't build his first home because of the deadly job they both were into. Long story short, he got another lady pregnant, and that one gave birth to Folashade Tinubu Ojo, the current Iyaoloja. Now, according to Gistlover, I say G still day on Folashade too, but right now, let us focus on what is on ground. Now, the work was going smoothly and well those days. Being a drug baron in those days was like being an hired assassin, hired killer. You need to be ruthless and you must be able to improvise. You need to be able to handle gun, weapons well in case issues come up that threatens your life. The work was going on smoothly and her mother was getting promotion. It was being given rank. Then boom, on one of his flights from Lagos to the US, he met a beautiful air hostess. Her name is Bumi Osho Naike. They exchanged contact and their love story started. Don't forget, the rule is this: you cannot have a functioning family. It is not possible, because at any time, in fact, the rule is do not get entangled with what you cannot move or run away from within minutes. Now, they said you cannot have a baby together. Just get these women for pure enjoyment. Because at that time, Bumi Osho was also a big fish. He was rolling with the high and mighty because of her type of job. She gets to meet people of class and caliber, people who fly, people who have money. She gets to know them. She gets to serve them on plane and all of that. Now, one thing led to another. That is how Bumi got pregnant. It was such a hard blow on her mother, as he didn't know how to tell his boss, adopted mother. So he suggested that Bumi abort the baby. Bumi stood her ground that she would not abort any baby. They shall have the baby and name him Oluwalosei Eniyoko. So the child of that day is now the famous Sheyi Tinubu that you all know. Not many knew Remi is not the mother of Sheyi Tinubu. In fact, a lot of people do not know. Well, now you are knowing. As at the time of birthing Sheyi, Tinubu had made a high name for himself in drug industry. He started jobs himself. He was doing some solo jobs. A lot of people he met in the industry were cleared back then. If you know, you know. You know the meaning? If you know, you know. They were already cleared in those days. Yes. Of course, you can't be a drug lord and attain a level without having multiple bloods on your neck. They can pass for hired assassins. Long story short, that was how Tinubu started running his own empire. He had issues in the US. He was almost busted. He had to run back to Nigeria for a while to lay low. And during those periods, he got a job with an oil and gas company as cover-up, but still run his main business underneath. Meaning, this is a rich guy, ruthless. In between, he probably got some form of education. And being that he's connected, he serves purposes. If he says, I want to be in this job, I want to be here, you can't say no, this guy don't. Anyway, when he ran back to Nigeria, he met another beautiful lady called Balikis Oluremi Odugbenson. This time around, Amoda is not serving any boss again, so he determined that he was going to settle down with a woman. Since he has been trying to lay low, he felt like this is the time to use all I have around me, the cover around me, to settle myself. So he quickly got married, as he already had 3 kids outside of wedlock. Remi's sister did the introduction and all things went well. Their marriage produced 3 girls: Zainab Abishola Tinubu, Abibat Tinubu, and Olayinka Tinubu. Well, although they are trying to keep the last child's picture of the media, but then it is not important right now. The pictures of these children are not, really important. Now, according to translation, the translations out there, Amoda, which spells Amoda, it can be translated to be Ahmed, Ahmad, Ahmadiyya, Amiti. That is where he got that middle name, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So he still retained his Amoda, but in a different form. So after getting married to Remi, and God blessed them with 3 girls, as I was saying, many do not know they have children together. And the rumor that has been peddled right, left, and center is that Remi did not give birth to any child for Amoda. Well, it's the case of the kids that don't make them flaunt them around. Yes. Well, they said the case of Zainab Tinubu, a spoiled brat from the womb. It's not just Zainab. Check some politicians, their children. You understand better. Zainab started taking drugs at an early stage, and this damaged a lot, according to Gistlover. Even after purchasing a lot of properties with drug money for the kids and made them stay all their life in the UK, they still didn't make Amoda proud. Currently, Zainab is in Bronzefield Prison in England. It happened that after taking her drugs as usual that day, she went on the street to assault a police officer in the UK, and she was charged. The parent tried all they could just to make sure the matter was buried, but it didn't work. It was while in prison they noticed she had mental that is mental health issue, and they had to transfer her to the mental home. If you've been abusing these things, and in life, even people who have not done terrible things, they still have challenges in life. Your children that are the continuation of your life do not give back to you what you expect. And also law of karma, apart from some inherited battles, inherited problems that we often have in our life. According to Gistlover, if you're in this kind of business, and everyone knows, if you're into this kind of business and you get to a point in this business, there is a possibility of you to have spilled blood, either innocently, either consciously, either as a way of eating back at someone. You try to murder their children that have no hands in it. Anyway, this is just the cancer in Europe. Yes, you don't have to have too much money to get yourself into this. Now we have the same problem on our hands. In Nigeria, there are a lot of people who are into this kind of cheap drugs. So this child of Tinubu has this problem. Yes, has this problem. This is what their parents do. They have a lot of money. Why not get high? You can't be among some group of people and the only thing you want to take is alcohol. Even alcohol, if you're not careful, will turn you into something else. You become an alcoholic person and whatever. Now, like I said, they try to bury the story. That's why you don't see the story out there that much. They tried to bury the story, but it couldn't work. So they had to transfer this this lady to the mental section. As it is right now, they say she shuffles back and forth. Now, Amoda needed to re-strategize where, because the police were already on his trail in the US. So he needed to find a way to establish his drug cartel in Nigeria without having any issue with the government or anyone. So he devised a means to find his way to the top in politics such that even if he kills anybody in Nigeria and they find a gun on him, it won't be questioned. That was how he ventured into politics, according to Gistlover. Yes, according to Gistlover, although Bola Tinubu or Amoda had been into, that kind of politics, and definitely we want to get into politics with the kind of money, connection, and all of that. So, this part of Gistlover saying this is the reason why it got into politics. I cannot say this is what it is, but I'm just telling you word for word, and you kind of now find out about someone else again. This person just came into this money. I've already called his name. He Money, Emeka Money, E Money. It just came all of a sudden, and they said God bless them. Many of them are out there. They have partnership. If you look at the clique of E Money, all of a sudden one day they just got this explosive money, and you would think they have been saving before the slave trade that happened in Africa. Anyway, they said that he ventured into politics and he made sure his cartel was running well. He needed to hand over and face politics squarely. Plus, he spent a lot of money just to get key posts in a short while. And of course, his target was to recover even more while on seat. This was how he met a young guy on the street of Apapa who was a freight agent. His name is Okonkwo Emeka Imani. Imani. Well, there is a lot. Yoruba people will say the underneath of money and the underneath of cash, the underneath of money, and there is a lot under it. Yes, there is a lot under it. Well, this is according to Gistlover. I will repeat. Gistlover is the one feeding us with all of this, but a lot of people know that this obscene money that you see people display, many of this money has something inside of it. Is not always as clean, as fresh as it is. And I'm not going to say you will find just this alone in Africa. It's all over the place. If you look into the family of a lot of people that you respect today, is it that their family ancestors have been involved in slave trade and a lot of things, gun running, prostitution, racketeering, a lot of things in America. Just go and check the history in Europe. Look at the United Kingdom. How were they able to make all of these things that they have? They went into India, went into Africa, they stole, they did a lot of things, but in their own dictionary, their own rules and regulation and laws, this is not crime. They've not done any evil. They have not stolen. They have not done anything. Even if it is written on history books that they enslaved these, it was a pride, they come up with excuses. What I'm trying to tell you in essence is this: majority of the people that you see today, majority of the people, I'm not saying people cannot be upright and they get their things together and they are rich. There are people that God has blessed and placed wealth into their life, yes, but there are also people who have acquired by getting themselves engaged in all of these things that Gistlover is bringing out. So we are going to continue. Yes, we are going to continue with the e-money connection with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How did this e-money all of a sudden blow? Some might say, why are you talking about e-money? This is not tribal. Why are you talking about this? This is not about that. Why are you talking about? Now you see that there is a lot of things happening in the southeast of Nigeria. There is something that they are taking, crystals, meth crystal. Where is this thing coming from? They picked up Bakari. These things are so connected. These criminal activities are so connected. But Like this lover is saying, Bola Ahmed Tinubu made sure that he removed his hands, but he needed to pass this over to some group of people to manage and to do these things for him, according to this lover. Now, what is your own thinking about all of this? This is not to discredit Bola Ahmed Tinubu from being president. We are not campaigning for Peter Obi. Peter Obi is a criminal. You say, how? It is easy. EFCC tagged him. Yes. EFCC tagged him. I say, oh, where is the evidence of this? You know that even to your local government chairman, they are all criminals. EFCC tagged him. Same way Tinubu, same way Atiku. The only person tried to remain clean, and I have not seen any EFCC try to interrogate any of these people at the military head of state. Yes, none of them. Babangida, EFCC has never gone to meet him to bust him. All of them, till Obasanjo, none of them have been busted for whatever. It's only the civilians among them that you will hear that this person has been called for, apart from immunity that has been placed on them, the president, ex-president and all of that. None of them are clean. They are all thieves. From Atiku, Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Peter Obi, they are criminals. That's just what it is. The difference is this. It depends. The difference between all of these people is this: how big have they stolen? Equals to the opportunities that they had to steal. Do not forget to subscribe if you have not done so. The red notification icon bell is very important. Please do tap on it.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel, and if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.